today I'm making a video in collaboration with Econominds, which is really cool because it's like my first collab thing. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about money at university, how to budget your money, what to do with it, how it all works and all of that. If you're going into university, you will have applied for your student loan through Student Finance England, Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland or whatever else you're doing if you're an international or EU student. And you will get your payments in 3 instalments, and annoyingly they won't be equal instalments. So because they won't be equal instalments, it's really important for you to know how to budget if you're a student at university, and particularly if you're in a self-catered hall, which I'm going to get onto now. So for those of you who are new here, I'm Savannah. I've just finished my first year at the University of Nottingham. I study maths. Yeah, for my first year I was in a catered hall at the University of Nottingham, and Nottingham's great because it does have quite a few catered halls that you can choose from if you want to do that. And it was really good for me being in a catered hall because I knew that all my food would be paid for as long as I had enough to pay the instalments they asked for each term. Then I knew I wouldn't have to worry about where my next meal was coming from, how much I could buy or anything like that. So I was really lucky, and I really liked living in catered halls. It's like a really gentle introduction to university because you've still got to do your laundry and you're still making friends, joining societies, but at the same time you don't have to worry as much about money and your meals and things. So it was a really nice introduction. But this year I am going to have to budget. I'm living in a student house in Lenton. So I'm going to impart some of my knowledge I've learned for my first year, some things I'm going to be doing in my second year to budget my money and just generally be happy at uni. I'm making this video in collaboration with Econominds, which are an A-level tutoring service. They tutor economics in the West Midlands. Economics is a really great subject because it's a mix of like maths, but you also do essays like politics and things like that. So it's a real mix of sort of maths side, the politics side, the business side, and maybe even a bit of sociology thrown in there as well. And of course Nottingham offers a maths and economics course. But if you're looking for some help in economics, then definitely, or if you even just want an introduction to it, maybe you're not sure if you want to do it for A-level or you're not sure whether to keep it on to year 13, definitely go and check out Econominds, especially if you're based in the West Midlands in the UK. So to budget money, my first advice would be to not be scared of looking in your bank account, because I was always so scared. I never want to look at how much I spent. I was always a bit like, oh, I don't want to see how much I've spent this year or this term. But you will have to do that. Make sure you check how much money is going in and out of your account, because there might be big purchases coming in and out that you had no idea about. Make sure you know exactly what you're subscribed to, what your subscriptions are. If you're subscribed to Netflix and maybe Spotify, make sure you write that down and write how much is going out of your account every month. That's really important because these subscriptions can add up, and maybe if you sign up for a free trial and then you forget, and then they start to charge you, then that can be very stressful when you look in your account and all that money's gone and you can't get it back. So definitely make a list of everything that's taking money out of your account. Make sure you get a student account. A lot of student accounts offer benefits, and don't wait until your second year if you need to get one, which was what I did, and then missed out on some of the student account deals which they don't mention, so be very careful. You can only get these bonuses that banks offer you, like a rail card, things like that. You can only get them if you're going into your first year of university, or like you're starting your foundation year, something like that. So make sure you get those, especially before you go to university, because it can be a bit of a thing. You've got to go into a bank, talk to some people, open an account, it's a bit of palaver. So make sure you've got that sorted before you start university. Don't be afraid to tell your friends if you're struggling with money. This just comes into make sure you're open with your friends about your problems and things, because that can be really helpful. But definitely make sure you're open with them. If you haven't got a lot of money, make sure you tell them, and your friends, more likely than not, they'll want to help you, and they can also be your sort of morality guard dogs for you, as in they can let you know if you're spending a lot of money or something. They can help you out in like a friendly way. So make sure you're open with your friends if you'd like about money. I know it can be hard to talk about with things like that. You might not want to look like you're struggling, but definitely try and be open with them about it, and they will, if they're your friends, they'll help you, they'll understand. Be careful with signing up for societies and clubs at the start of the year, because often there's a fee. The fee tends to not be much. It tends to be between like £2 and £10 depending on what the society is and what you're doing, but they can add up if you join a lot during Freshers Week. So definitely I would say don't join more than 3 societies, because otherwise you'll overcommit yourself as well, and then you'll be in financial trouble and you'll have overcommitted yourself, so be careful. A lot of times ignorance can be bliss. If you join a society that might require you to spend a lot of money, if you don't join it and don't get the emails for it, then you won't have the FOMO of missing out. FOMO of missing out? You won't have FOMO, and you won't be spending the money as well. So sometimes maybe you might have to self-control yourself. Also be careful with joining sports clubs, because those can be even more expensive than societies. I think the boat club was £120 to join, and if you're a serious sports person, or if you're serious about getting into sport, then it can be worth it, because I think the University of Nottingham Boat Club trains 12 times a week, so you're definitely getting your £120 worth there. And I think the basketball club is like £80 or things. These are just numbers I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head. So be very careful with joining those. Check if your uni offers sporting scholarships if you've done sports before. Those can be really useful, and they can help you out pay for those high costs that comes with joining a sports club as well. Just to summarise, my main tips are keep track of what is continually going out of your account. So travel costs, maybe you have to get the bus into uni every day. Make sure you know how much you're paying for your bus pass each term. Train costs, how much you're going to be travelling home. Try and get an idea of how often you'll be doing that. Some people like to go back home every weekend, some people maybe every other week, some people just once a month, some people never. Make sure you've got an idea of how much that is. Check if there's any financial things that the university can help with, because I think my student loan, it comes in, your student loan will more likely than not come in like different amounts. So you'll get like £2,000 for one term, then you might get £3,000 the next, which is a big change, and that might mean you're not able to pay for your rent for one term but you are for the second. But universities can often work around that and offer you options to pay your rent that works with the way your student loan comes in. So check with the university as well before you stress about paying something because your loan hasn't come in. Be careful of what you're paying for during freshers, especially if it's societies. Don't make my mistake. So I hope this was a quick video giving my biggest financial tips. My last tip is going to be about getting a job. I'd say only get a job if you really need one, because jobs can be quite a lot on you, and if you can, try and get a job working for the university, because there'll be a lot more understanding around deadlines and exams and things, and they'll be a lot more lenient. If you get a job with a company outside the university, they might not be so forgiving, so be careful. Of course, get a job if you need, and I can make a video in the future giving you my advice for getting a job with no experience, which was what I managed to do. So I will probably make that soon as well. But yeah, so quick video, those are my tips. Thank you for econominds for collaborating with me on this. It's going to be really cool. I will make a video in the future talking a bit more about econominds as well. I hope you like this new strange background that I'm using. It's my room, it's a bit messy, so yeah, try not to look at that. My curtain's behind me and I'm using like a ring light for lighting, so new background. I might do it here from now on, we'll see. So I'll see you guys soon, hope that was okay.